This is when most people give up. Failed business, debt, crumbling relationships, and you can feel the satisfaction in their eyes saying, "I told you so." When you find yourself alone reflecting on all your mistakes that got you here, but what if I told you this is exactly where you need to be? That this is no mistake, that this is a quest on the path you must complete to get where you want to go. The test to determine if you're strong enough to get to the next level. Would you believe?
Upon my reflections of how I got in this situation brought me back to memories of my sports career. I played college basketball and I played college soccer. And a mistake or a mentality that I would have that would cause me issues, it would also benefit me in many ways, but it would cause me issues, is getting too excited. But before I tell you about that, let me tell you the overall point of this. Everyone gets caught in the middle of situations, and I'm going to tell you the solution that I am currently sitting in to resolve the situation that I found myself in. So, in my sports career, say I'd be in the locker room preparing for a high school basketball game. I naturally have an over-aggressive nature. So me preparing for a basketball game in the locker room is getting amped up. Let's go. I'm going to drop 25. I'm going to get 10 rebounds. I'm locking up the other point guard. I'm going to get 10 steals, and we're going to fucking kill it. And in many times, that's exactly what happens when it works out. But the counter side of that mentality is sometimes you can get yourself so pumped up that it turns almost into anxiety. Not the like I'm so scared anxiety, but your excitement spills over so much that it becomes counterproductive and you overtake on things. You shoot the ball when you shouldn't shoot the ball. You make passes you shouldn't pass, and you end up missing way more shots than you needed to miss, and you end up turning the ball over way too much, and ultimately it will cause you and your team to self-destruct. But on the other hand, my personality is not on the other hand, but I see other people do it, where every time they get the ball, they pass it. Every time someone is aggressive on the other team, they back down. And that doesn't work either. And where most people live is the middle. They're not hyper aggressive, but they're not hyper passive. They shoot the ball when they're open. They get rebounds when they can get the rebound. But that only thing that gets you is like a role player position. You'll never be the guy, and you'll never excel in that position. If you're looking to be in a position of comfort, that's a good place to be. And I think maybe that is the place for most people, but not me. And how I got in this situation is by having too solid of a black and white stance on the way things need to be. Yes, aggression will get you the things that you want, but the truth is, for the life that I want to live, I need to perfectly execute things in all realms. I need to know when to be over aggressive, when to crush my enemy completely, and when to surrender. Because there are times to surrender. It's funny because I just got one of the episodes in Avatar: The Last Airbender, when the Earth King has been the Earth Kingdom's being occupied, and King Boomy surrenders, and he waits 100 years, and he finds his moments, and he frees the city. Sometimes that is the right move, but in order to get where I need to go, I need to skillfully execute in the right moment. It's not always be aggressive, and it's not always surrender, and it's definitely not to be in the middle. You need to know when you need to crush your enemy totally and go balls to the walls and destroy anything in your path in that particular situation, and you need to know when to back down, surrender, and wait for the proper opportunity to go all in. So I don't think the answer is to be in the middle. I think the answer is to know when to be when to enact that level of aggression and when to use your patience. And in my situation, it's not sports anymore, it's business. I need to know when to spend my last dollars getting new inventory, or when to make that investment, or when to go all in on content, and when to lay low, conserve my energy, don't spend too much money, go with the flow, let my current customers keep buying, and not overspend on marketing and new inventory and new systems and such. And I'm speaking about myself in this manner because I want you to reflect on it and what you can do in your own life, because it would be hypocritical if I gave you advice. One, because I'm not in the position to give advice, but two, because that would contradict my entire point. The entire point is you need to do what the situation calls for, not to be one way or the other, not to be passive, or not to be overly passive, not to be overly aggressive. You need to know when to do either of those actions, not to always be passive or always be aggressive. On Monday, you might need to be balls to the walls, over aggressive, and on Tuesday, you might got to chill out and just let the day go by and minimize damage. So I took a little trip to get some inventory to flip on Whatnot and eBay or wherever else I decide to sell it. I got a PS5, I got an Xbox One, and I got a couple other consoles, and I got some games. The goal is to flip them between Whatnot, Facebook, Amazon, whatever I need to do where I can get the most money or sell it the fastest to get some cash going. This is going to be my new thing, my new business. I was doing this in the past. I was reselling video games before I started my hot sauce business, but now I'm back reselling video games and consoles better than before. And with the new coming of live shopping, I have a whole new channel to be able to do this. So the goal is just keep flipping, get more product, make my service better, make my streams better, make my listings better, provide more value to the customers, and just keep doing it. Get more suppliers, get more repeat customers, and just build it like a business. The thing is, I have so many business ideas go through my mind, but what happens with me is I have to do the business that is accessible to me. That was the problem with the hot sauce business, was I was in an in-between point. I wasn't quite ready to create my own product and grow my own brand all the way from scratch to the big time, but I had a little bit more money than I was willing to work with than just reselling other people's stuff. But what I should have done was stayed reselling other people's stuff until I had a bigger cushion to build out my own product and start getting my own platforms and things going. But I had no idea what it would take to build my own product and build my own brand out. I really had no idea. And I would have never learned it if I didn't take that jump anyway. So, I mean, hindsight is 2020. I would have never known. But I learned so much in my time working on Hustle Sauce. That's the business, that's the brand I was creating, that it's going to be even better and easier for me to be successful reselling again. But my ante just gets going because the problems you're running in reselling are solved by creating your own product, but it has its own problems of its own. So the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It doesn't matter what business you're doing. You make the business work. The business doesn't make you work.